but they're not your real brother. Now, this was a comment made to me a couple weeks ago, and here's the context of it. I'm I'm tending bar at Bar Primo at Festa Italiana. And I had somebody come up to me afterwards and say, "Hey, man, I thought you were Irish, not Italian." I said, "We are." So, well, what are you doing, at an Italian festival, helping, serve cocktails, serve drinks at Bar Primo? And I said, "Well, it's my brothers. That side of his family have done this for years and years, decades, 30 something. He's helped lead it for 18 or so." Then I said, "Well, didn't know you had a brother. I knew you had a sister." I said, "Well, he's a bonus brother, step brother. Came from my dad's second marriage." And it made me really kind of think back, and they're like going, "Well, he's not really your brother then." And for those that don't know me and don't know Ivy, I mean, we adopted our children. So when we first adopted and they were with us, I mean, we went from 0 to 2 overnight when they were 2 and 3.5. And, we had some other parents that came up to us and said something along the lines of, "Well, they're not your real children." And I can tell you this, as being a very open, honest, and direct person, I had to refrain myself from saying certain things, which is a rarity in many instances. And I flashed back to those days based upon the statement, and I don't judge the comment. Well, that's not true. I do judge it. Because I think the definition of real to me has changed over time. There was a time when using a stepmother, a stepfather, a stepbrother or sister came with a lot of preconceived notions and baggage around that. Frankly, in this instance, Michael and Michelle, my stepbrother, stepsister, we just stopped wanting to tell the story. That my parents separated. My dad dated their mom for a long time, finally got married, blah, 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 and just said, "It's my brother, it's my sister." And I think about the people that are in my life and the mentors I've been blessed with. I mean, I've got a dear friend that's as close to a brother as I could ever imagine ever happening. I've had mentors and families, the Gleddy families, McConnells. I mean, that were their second set of parents. Couldn't love them more, as if they were my mother or father or my brother or sister. I mean, I've got all sorts of people that have influenced my life that way. But I think it's so interesting that we have to put a label on something. There's a clarification of, "Knew you most of my life. I didn't even know you had a brother." That's, well, there's context around that. But what is real? What makes you a parent? What makes you a brother, a sister? What makes you a valued friend? And is it real? And while we don't share the same blood, we share the many same life experiences. We shared love of a parent. We shared memories that we still laugh and cry about. So while we may not have the same blood, there's as real of anything else that's there than I can imagine. So much so that I've got blood relatives that I have little respect for, or have treated my family poorly, or treated a loved one poorly, or have taken advantage of them, and I really don't associate at all with them. So compared to that, 100 times more real than not. So does blood make you a brother and sister? Does love and affection and appreciation for one another make you a real something? And I can share with you this. I mean, in my circumstances specifically, I can't speak for yours, but in mine, mine are as real as this highlighter I'm holding in my hand. I mean, I don't even think about it anymore. It comes up in conversation because their last name is obviously Italian. Mine's Irish. And I'm allowed to be Italian 3 days out of the year, and that's Festa Italiana. I mean, great food, great people, and great music, great foundation, great charity to give back to high school students going into college. And then in turn, I tell them, you can be Irish on St. Patrick's Day. But It's an interesting scenario. It's an interesting statement, and it just made me think about so many things in my life that I put labels on and judged, and that I didn't appreciate during times of my life. That step was a very real um, description of how I would put towards that, and carried some ill will around it. And then as we aged and we matured and go through things, there's a greater appreciation, a greater understanding of not necessarily the people we're talking about, but of ourselves. And can we take that at the face value and not have to overreact, overly justify it? And the only person that this really means anything to is me. But how would you respond, or how would you react if you adopted children and somebody said they're not your real kids? How would you respond or react if somebody said, it's not your real mom, it's not your real dad, it's not your real brother, your real sister, your real grandparents, whatever the case might be? Pretty damn real to me. I don't know about you.